Donald Trump wants us to live in fear, live in terror, refuse to be terrorized. Welcome to Law and Society. Please subscribe and let's talk briefly about Donald Trump's stochastic terrorism. So, we know that Donald Trump lied and brought up this conspiracy theory about illegal immigrants from Haiti, Haitians, going to Springfield, Ohio, and stealing people's pets and eating them. This was a conspiracy theory that was lifted up and amplified by vice presidential candidate J.D. Vance about his own state. And they talked about this, Donald Trump talked about this during the debate, a presidential debate. Now, after that happened, there were many instances where people from Springfield, Ohio came out and said that you need to stop harassing people in this town. They were talking about how I think that Donald was exploiting how one child died, who died in an accident and was not related to any sort of immigration. Then there was Springfield, Ohio's Haitian community that is a legal immigrant community that lives there. And the real problem with Springfield, Ohio is not being able to get proper funding and infrastructure for the increase in immigrants to about 20,000 people. So, what, but there, despite any of this immigration, there's been no reports, official reports of any kind of pets being being stolen and then eaten by immigrants. So, because of these lies, Springfield, Ohio schools had to shut down because there was a bomb threat, and there still is a bomb threat on Springfield, Ohio. That was incited by the amplification of these lies by Donald Trump and JD Vance. So, what does Donald Trump do? He doubles down on it. I'm speaking to you right after Donald Trump talked about Kamala Harris and all of the lies. Apparently, Kamala Harris lies about everything. That's what Donald Trump said. And apparently, Kamala Harris's earrings were part of some sort of a plan because those were earpieces. Pearl earrings were apparently earpieces. So putting this so if and then he goes on to say that he's won the debate, and then he goes on to attack ABC, then he goes on to attack Kamala Harris and Kamala Harris's name, and then there's they add this other conspiracy theory that they are now eating your geese, the geese that's in the lake and all of that. So, and they post a picture. This is coming from far right conspiracy nuts like Laura Loomer et al. And it is coming directly from them and going directly to Donald Trump, and Donald Trump is amplifying them. So there was this picture of an African American or a black man carrying two dead geese who news would reveal were from a town about 45 minutes from Springfield, Ohio, which is Columbus, Ohio. And they were dead geese that were on the road because of a car accident that killed them. Okay. So there is no information about those people being illegal immigrants, or even the person's picture that was taken as being an immigrant at all. Could have been an African American person. That's why I went back to saying black and not African American, because if you are of Haitian, if you're an Haitian immigrant, I can't call you African American because there's that attachment to the United States of America and people who lived in African people who lived in America before slavery, who were enslaved, and that legacy. So I wanted to sort of briefly parse that. Now, in this speech, Donald Trump went and doubled down on the geese talk and the cats and dogs talk. And then he went on to talking about how these people are taking away black jobs and Latino jobs. None of that is true. And then he goes on to say that Kamala Harris wants to bring back the draft. That's out of nowhere. You see, like these false narratives, and I've talked about false narratives and stochastic terrorism before. These false narratives get caked on top of one another, and we see how quickly and how big the repercussions can be of these false narratives just by the cats and dogs and geese story that went viral and then sort of caused bomb threats in the city that in the state that JD Vance is a senator from. So Donald Trump and JD Vance, even today, days after the debate, are doubling down on these lies and these xenophobic lies to make people afraid, to terrorize people. Oh, they're coming for the pets. Who are they going to come against next? And then there are people now saying in the MAGA camp that no, they're even eating people. So you see, it just snowballs this sort of disinformation, and it causes what did it cause? It caused the city of Springfield, Ohio, to shut down because of bomb threats. That's real terror, and that is caused by Donald Trump's stochastic terrorism. That is caused by the lies that Donald Trump spins in order to get people in his rallies. That's what Donald Trump and his conspiracy theorists want their followers to believe and then act out based on those beliefs, like call in bomb threats or attack FBI or attack Nancy Pelosi's husband or call in death threats for Judge Tanya Chutkan or have kidnappings of Gretchen Whitmer, threats, conspiracies. These have happened. These have happened in the past. The latest is this Springfield, Ohio incident that Donald Trump keeps doubling down upon. And mind you, these are examples of stochastic terrorism. The concept of stochastic terrorism is a peripheral context. It is based on influencers getting on the amplifier that is the internet and spreading baseless lies that are posted on social media by people without verification and by far-right influencers that we now know some of them get their money from Russia and sow these lies into America's body politic, into mainstream American politics and society, and then use those lies to attack a political candidate without any other plans, whether it be healthcare, whether it be infrastructure, whether it be climate, nothing. He has never proposed a plan. And he has said himself that he has concepts of plan. And he also has concepts of stochastic terrorism. Every time that he doubles down on these xenophobic lies, every time that he doubles down and lies about Kamala Harris, lies about her career, about her performance at the debate where she crushed Donald Trump, or whether that be about instilling fear in Americans that they're going to be drafted again, instilling fear in Americans that these people coming from outside are going to come and take away your jobs, take away your cats and dogs, even take away the geese that swim in the lake near you. That is instilling fear, baseless fear, and inciting at the same time Donald Trump's own followers that then follow through on these death threats and these acts of terrorism. And then Donald Trump, because he's himself not causing that terrorism, his words can go on to say something as callous as he can be held responsible for how other people behave after listening to him. That is the whole premise of stochastic terrorism. And that's exactly what Donald Trump is doing and will keep doing for the next 8-9 weeks that the election goes on. He will keep at it even after the election. He will keep at it even after going after Kamala Harris takes office, because Kamala Harris is going to win in November. And he's going to keep at it until he is stopped by the criminal justice system. So we have to push back. We have to not be terrorized, refuse to be terrorized. Take the steps you need to take to vote and not be terrorized, to be able to talk about your values and not be terrorized. Don't go and confront their terrorism, report them to the authorities, to the local authorities. One of the great questions asked on social media about Donald, about this story, is where did it come from? You know, and it came from the corners of fringe media, and Donald Trump amplified it and turned it into stochastic terrorism. And we need to be able to talk about it and warn people about it and do everything we can to vote and let authorities know if you see anything insane. You know, it's interesting that nobody from Ohio called their local authorities to make any of these complaints. Somebody saw this on social media and notified JD Vance, who then lied about it on social media. Then it got amplified. And this is how stochastic terrorism spreads. So with that said, that's my substantive talk. Satish, thank you for being here. Sharp, you know, I have been having feedback because I feel like I'm maybe talking too loudly. I work on very rudimentary sort of things, you know, computer and such. So the feedback, I apologize for it. I'll try to speak at a tone that doesn't cause the feedback so much. Um, yeah, Jennifer, thank you for being here. Yeah, they need to take away his access, and the only way that's going to happen is at sentencing after he's convicted of crimes. He has already been convicted of the crimes in New York, and his federal criminal trial in DC is pretrial hearings are going to start later this month. The judicial process has gone on for 4 years. It's disappointing to me on many, many levels. But the fact that it keeps on grinding and going forward is hope that it will get to Donald Trump. And, you know, I always say that Donald Trump isn't running for office as much as he's running from prison. So, you know, he is running from prison. And when he loses in November, he's going to cause a ruckus. There's going to be, you know, bomb threats and sporadic acts of violence around the country. But there's not going to be anything like January 6th, because this time President Biden is in charge of the security of DC. Because guess what? It is the President of the United States who commands the DC National Guard, and not Nancy Pelosi, like Donald Trump lied about. So Donald Trump will keep lying to you. He will keep lying to you at the rate of 2 lies per minute. He will keep lying to you at the rate of instilling fear in you of being drafted, instilling fear in you of others taking away your jobs. Don't believe Donald Trump. Look at the facts, debunk these lies, and with courage, move forward and vote for Kamala Harris and Tim Walz. With that said, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please like, please share, and subscribe. It really helps me out a lot, because that's the only way my words get through to other people. So thank you so much, Satish. Thank you, Jennifer. Thank you, Sharp, for being here. And I will talk to y'all soon.